So, probably after watching the first episode of my series, the Epic Railway series, you've seen the scene of my Tommy Edward puffing, blowing actual steam out of his funnel, and wondered how I managed to do it. Well, it's fairly simple. I made a system of straws coming from my humidifier, all connected to my Edward. In fact, just a straw connected to the humidifier alone can be pretty useful for all the cool effects, such as steam coming under the locomotive, or maybe... But of course you want to know how I made this. So, well, I drilled a hole down Edward's funnel with a hobby hand drill. Then I began gluing the straws and pieces of long balloons to go inside of the boiler. Of course, the body had to be severely modified too, by cutting these tubes where the screws go in and other formations that might be on the way of our system. Also, the motor was beyond repair, so I had no problem butchering it either. Then there was enough space for this thing inside of Edward, made of straws and balloons. The balloons will go under the train, providing the steam coming from the humidifier. And here you can see the first test of my new invention. Alright, steam coming out of a funnel of a Tomy engine. Test 1. Wait for it. Oh my god! Whoa. Whoa. Well, I did it. I did it! Yeah! Now we're talking. Whoa. 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 Too bad the balloon would easily fold, blocking the steam. Now, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I'll be working on it. But until that, wow, it needs some major adjustments, but so far so good. Pretty good for a first time. Wow, I like it. This was the first try to make a real puffing model. It served better as a static than a moving model. I just couldn't use it for my episode. It was cool to see that I could do this though. So while I thought of a way to make that stuff work, I basically gave Edward a neck. A quote-unquote realistic raised boiler inspired by his RWS version and a custom made by A Duck Productions. Go check it out. Why did I mention this? We'll get there. Sure enough, I figured a way of having the engine run while blowing steam. Instead of the connection happening under the locomotive, it will go through the cabin. Also, hear me out in this video I recorded. The system here made of this balloon is surprisingly straight. And I put this Lego piece so that it makes it easier to connect the tube inside of the engine with the tube that goes in the humidifier. Yeah. And when I want the body on the chassis, it is exposed in here. But because it is a balloon, I can just fold it and put it back on. And then there's nothing left in there inside. Just realism. And you know, because it is a balloon, it can be squeezed between the motor part and the roof. So there, and steam can still go through it. This was more practical, but it also meant that the scene would only play with the engine showing, all for the sake of a cool scene. Look at how high the scene got this time. It came out much easier than stronger, but it was too high, so I placed a little rock inside of the funnel, small enough to be easier to remove later and let some steam come out. It did the trick. It really did the trick. What about the steam coming from here? Well, because of the modified boiler that I mentioned, it started to come out of a snack. But other engines with elevated boilers like the T9 does let out steam under there too, so I see that as a win. Besides, it looks as if it's coming from his piston in certain angles if you look right. I find it beautiful. So this was how I made it. I plan to make a better version that might work on my motorized engines without having to cut off so many pieces. But until there, I shall be working on the episode 2 of my series, Edward and Gordon, among other videos. So yeah, see you there,
Thanks for watching and bye.